It's Tuesday, but it feels like Thursday, and that's because we've got a holiday coming up later this week. A little bit on the M5 today. I put the rear in the air without using a lift. I didn't want to move cars. I was lazy. Pulled the rear right wheel, and I noticed yesterday and had forgotten to fix it until I lowered the car, and it was too late. But one of those 4 parking brake hooks that holds the cables in place had come out of the subframe because the grommet just disintegrated. So I replaced the grommet, put the hook back in, so that's nice and tight. Did a little bit of cleaning back there, just in the fender liner, stuff like that. Got the wheels cleaned up today. I had done the detail yesterday, but ran out of time for wheels. So that's done. It sits a little bit as I wait for a special tool that allows you to open up an Oetiker clamp and then reclose it without replacing it, because to replace it on an axle, you'd have to take the axle out, completely disassemble it. I don't want to do that. So we're going to try my hand at that tool. And I've got a few spare axles over here, including my old ones, and I'll probably practice on those, make sure the tool is going to work. I've got at least 2 in there. I think the goal will be to open up the smaller one here on the inside, shove a syringe in there, pump it full of some grease, and then put the boot back and tighten the clamp back down. That might be a 4-hour ordeal that ends in failure, or it might be something that's 20 minutes, I don't know. I will report back. The 540 looks a little different today. Can you tell what I was able to get done? Something I knew I was going to do, didn't know when. It's got window tint, and it looks so much better. Exact same tint that's on my M5 and my dad's E60. So we've got Lumar Formula One Stratos, top of the line, 35% nano ceramic film on all the side windows and the back glass. Didn't do the sunroof for 2 reasons. 1, I don't really think it needs it. You want to keep the heat out, close the shade. 2, this one is all scratched up from previous owners, I imagine, putting stuff on the glass, and there's scratches here, there's scratches in the middle. When I eventually get to doing the headliner in the car, this glass has to come out anyways, and I'm going to replace it with another one from an M5. They're all the same. And I'll probably replace this seal too, because the seam's not in the middle and it's lifting over there. So that's a later project. I don't have the sunroof filmed on either one of these cars either. For the windshield, my M5 has a Dyno S-Tech Dyno Shield, something like that on the outside. I'm not going to do that here just due to cost, and this windshield's not really worth protecting. It is the original genuine. Somebody ran it with low wiper blades, so there's some scratches in there. Not a big deal for now. On the 2000 low miler carbon black, I finally got the Mark IV navigation computer in today and the 16:9 display. So the nav retrofit or facelift is done. Just kind of putting this off. I hate going in here on the 2000 cars and taking the amp out. Also, I can just get to the Trimble on the back, pull the antenna out and move the wire up here and plug it directly into the Mark IV. Mark III and Mark IV computers do not use a Trimble antenna amplifier module, whatever that was, decoder. That technology is built into the nav computer, so you just unplug the antenna wire and move it over here. I do disconnect the power and data supply from the Trimble as well, just one less electrical connection or power draw to have to worry about in the car. So that's complete, and really all we've got to do on this car is our final inspection, get the new Patrick Star transmission cover on, give it a good bath inside and out, final test drives. I think it's been aligned, so that's all done. Just got to get some miles on it. And really the big thing's the headliner, which my estimate was really far off, so I've got to go back to the customer, and then timing is going to be a problem. But it definitely needs an Alcantara rewrap just due to failing and sagging headliner, pillars, and obviously this very faded out rear parcel shelf. Nate's car is going to be a high priority when everyone gets back from the holiday travels. My dad's going to Mexico. Mike's back in Philadelphia right now on the East Coast, visiting family and friends at home. So we'll hit this hard next week and get this thing wrapped up. The rest of the day was spent at my desk on the phone, clearing out emails and ShopMonkey, just doing all sorts of things that I had been putting off. I want to get to a good place here before the holiday so I can leave and not worry about open communications. That'll be a focus tomorrow as well, in addition to some packing for my upcoming semi-local travels in comparison to my dad and Mike. I'm going to take the E60 back today. 2 reasons. 1, I don't really want to drive my M5 until I get more grease in that axle, but then this should be ready. And the 540, unfortunately, has a shadow code that's coming up every time I cold start the car. It's function of inlet cam bank 2. Car runs fantastically, makes plenty of power, sounds great. There's no trouble codes at all when warm. I talked to a few M62 people that have way more experience with the chain and guide and timing than I do. And apparently the Reluctor ring on the intake cam, even though you use the tools and follow the instructions perfectly, needs to be adjusted after several hand rotations of the engine. And it's just really, really sensitive to that. So I might be a little bit off there, which sucks because that's going to be valve covers and upper timing covers off again. Good news is crank hub can stay on, lower timing cover can stay on, accessories can stay on, so it won't be nearly as in-depth as going in fresh like we did last week. But it does need to be opened up again, or it should be opened up again. People drive them like this, but I don't want codes. I want it done perfectly. And it's disappointing to have done all that work, followed the instructions to a T, done everything as expected, but the instructions didn't really detail. They did not detail that. They said, put the tool in, put the pin in the hole and tighten it down. And that's exactly what we did. But apparently it may be off after some revolutions. And we checked the cam to crank timing like 6 times, but I didn't go back and quadruple check that. So we'll get to that next week. Probably be about a 2-day thing, just with other things coming in the shop next week. We got an MPI on Monday. We got valve cover gaskets on a red 540 on Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday rather, not Monday and Tuesday. But I got to move a bunch of cars around right now to dig the E60 out. It'll be good to get some miles on that. We got a Laker game in 25 minutes, which I'll miss the first quarter of. I got to get home and shower, and it takes a while to reorganize the whole shop. So talk to you guys tonight. Hey, it's Tuesday night. My feet are cold because the ground is cold, because the days are short, because it's the end of November and it's about to get a whole lot colder. It's going to be in the 50s. Oh, we're going to freaking freeze our asses off here because apparently that's cold. But your blood thins when you move here. I don't know what it is. You're not used to it anymore. Watched some basketball tonight, ate some leftovers, played with the iPad for a whole bunch of time, updated to the last beta that I don't notice any difference over 10 betas ago. Tomorrow's going to be a day. I got to get to the post office. I got to wrap things up at the shop. I got to pack for the upcoming trip, odds and ends, defragmenting, getting ready for the holiday weekend. So I'll leave you with that tonight. We'll talk tomorrow on Hump Day. Good night.